think what I can tell the Deputy President is that he lives to fight another day. It is quite unfortunate, but our politics is based on betrayal, it's based on backstabbing. So it is called occupational hazard. And once you get in the field, you have to be ready for it.
Siwezi nikaogopa kamwe kwa maana mimi sijasimama na minority, nimesimama na majority. Kwa sababu Kipipiri niko na 50,000 voters. Na 50,000 voters mimi mwenyewe nilifanya public participation and 100% walikuwa wamesema niende against this impeachment. Kwa hivyo si uko na minority, niko na majority kwa sababu wale watu wa ground ndio wanatuchagua kutuleta hapa bungeni.
Najua mambo imeisha, tumeona bunge imeweza kufanya uamuzi wa kumimpeach naibu wa rais. Sijui inakufikia vipi?
Tunasema wale ambao tulikuwa kwa pande la no, tunasema hatujaridhika na vile mambo yalivyoweza kuendeshwa pale bunge. Mwanzo mliona wengi wetu ambao tulikuwa against the impeachment, hatukuweza kupata fair share ya airtime. Tulikuwa tunajaribu kupitia point of orders ili tuweze kuzungumza, ambayo hii si haki. Lakini la muhimu ni kwamba tunataka kueleza wa Kenya hii ilikuwa political process, the decision was politically made. Kwa hivyo very little we could have done. What we want to say ni kueleza wa Kenya, hasa Wanjiku ambaye aliongea juzi kupitia public participation na akapeana maoni, akaonyesha impeachment is not a priority. Kuna mambo kibao ambayo yamekwama Kenya, tuna mambo ya elimu, tuna mambo ya university student, tuna mambo ya afya, tuko na mabarabara hazijajengwa, tuko na shida za maji na nchi inayubayuba economically. Kwa hivyo kwa Wanjiku vile alisema hii sio priority, hata mimi kama mbunge nasimama vile na kusema hii haikuwa priority, lakini la ziada ni kuwa hii ni step 1. Tunataka kuwa na imani na bunge la Senate na tuna imani pia na judiciary ikiwa tutafika hapo.
It takes a lot of confidence wewe kama mbunge kusimama kama minority kwa sasa, kwa sababu upande wa serikali na wengi wameweza kupiga. Sijui kama mbunge labda hauogopi serikali utaanza kupata which hand?
Siwezi nikaogopa kamwe kwa maana mimi sijasimama na minority, nimesimama na majority. Kwa sababu Kipipiri niko na 50,000 voters. Na 50,000 voters mimi mwenyewe nilifanya public participation and 100% walikuwa wamesema niende against this impeachment. Kwa hivyo si uko na minority, niko na majority kwa sababu wale watu wa ground ndio wanatuchagua kutuleta hapa bungeni.
Asante sana kwa maoni.
Asante.
Mheshimiwa Njeri, tuko na women rep hapa wa kaunti ya Kirinyaga. Njeri, karibu sana. Leo najua nimekuona umeweza kuweza kumsupport katika siku chache zilizopita, ama mwaka mzima umeweza kumsupport naibu wa rais. Leo ni siku tuseme mbaya kidogo kwake. Sijui una maoni gani?
Kiswahili.
Any.
Okay. Mwanzo niseme ya kwamba tumeona leo that the 13th parliament, tunajua ya kwamba hata miezi minne haijapita tangu wapige ama wapitishe finance bill ambayo Wakenya walikuwa wamekataa. And I can say without fear of contradiction that the 13th parliament has shown that it is as tone deaf as it was when it voted for the grossly unpopular finance bill. Today what we have seen here is a purely political process. There is nothing based on merit. The motion was frivolous. The motion was full of rumors. We saw the deputy president controvert all issues that had been alleged. We saw they had put in properties not belonging to him so that they can amplify an emotive issue to Kenyans that he has accumulated funds from proceeds of corruption. So what I can say today, yes, it's a bad day, it's politics, it happens. We will be here, we will live to fight another day, and we will keep on.
As a lawyer, do you think he still has another chance? They still the Senate, they still the courts of law?
I think we'll see what the Senate decides. Of course, I feel personally that there's an overreach in regard to the independence of Parliament as a whole. Senate tends to be a bit independent. It also makes its decisions on intellect. So let us wait and see what Senate decides. But yes, on the law, he has 100% grounds to quash any impeachment motion passed by Parliament.
And lastly, as a representative of Kirinyaga, don't you see that maybe trying to stand with Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua may have you have some backlash or being sidelined by the national government and the president?
When I vied for the woman rep seat as a young person, I had one agenda: to offer transformative leadership, to offer leadership that is not influenced by any external forces besides the people of Kirinyaga, whom I represent. And they unequivocally told me in very certain terms to make sure that their voice of no is heard. And I have, whatever comes, I think, as a politician, we will take it, we will face it, because at the end of the day, you gotta do what you gotta do.
And lastly, as a young leader, we've seen MPs trying to make decisions that are influenced from somewhere else. As a young leader, what is this thing that motivates you, other than the people who elected you, just to make an independent decision regardless of the consequences?
I think it is my grounding and upbringing by my parents back in Kirinyaga County. My father raised me to be a very independent-minded person, irrespective of what people think, and he brought me up to stand for the truth and with justice. So I think it just speaks to my character as a person, because at the end of the day, it's very hard for voters also to gauge whether leaders are independent-minded or whether they can be swayed by perception. When I take a stand, I follow it to the very end.
I know you're going to meet the Deputy President maybe later in your own private forums, but any message for him right now at his hour of need?
I think what I can tell the Deputy President is that he lives to fight another day. It is quite unfortunate, but our politics is based on betrayal, it's based on backstabbing. So it is called occupational hazard. And once you get in the field, you have to be ready for it.
Thank you very much, Honorable Njeri. Oh, sorry.
Allow me to ask you this question. You know, I just want to understand from you, maybe if you have something you hear from the from the second family, deputy spouse, regarding the family. How are they?
Of course, it's a hard time for the family. Generally speaking, it would be a very hard time for anyone, because this is a family, if you recall, that gave up many freedoms to support this government, campaign for this government. The Deputy President and his family were harassed by the previous government for their support for this government. So it's quite unfortunate to go through the same thing once again in a government that you really supported, in a government that you invested in. It's quite unfortunate.
Just an additional question in regards to what is going on in the country. What message do you have for His Excellency William Samoei Ruto?
I think what I can ask the President, and with a lot of humility and respect for him, is that let us get our priorities right, let us sort out our healthcare, let us get employment opportunities for our young people, let us ensure that we are curtailing corruption at all levels of government, let us get things running for Kenyans, things that really matter for the common populace, not things that matter for the political class.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.